It's Tuesday. You know what that means. Hello and welcome to Always Elite. Today we're going to review AEW Revolution 2021. Starts in with the buy-in with Britt Baker and Reba versus Thunder Rosa and Riho. To start off, Britt comes out and says Reba was attacked by Nyla Rose in the back, so she needed a replacement, and Tony Khan says okay, and it was Maka Ito. She's a former Japanese idol. She sang her entrance song as she was coming out. She's okay. She's a better wrestler than she is a singer, though. Rio starts off like a ball of fire against Britt. Match was pretty damn good, I'd have to say. There's a lot of back and forth in this match. Things turned when Britt threw Rio into the guardrail. This match was solely designed to get the two younger talents over, and then to further the storyline between Britt and Thunder Rosa. Britt pushes Rosa into the ref. Reba uses the crutch that she was carrying, and Britt and Ito pick up the win. This match was fine for a pre-show match. It was pretty good. Then we get to the main card. The first match was the AEW Tag Team Championship match. Now, I can't believe they started with this, but okay. It was MJF and Jericho versus Matt and Nick Jackson of the Young Bucks. The Bucks are angry at the Inner Circle and jump them right from the go, right as soon as the bell sounds. They were mad because of what Jericho and MJF did to their father on Dynamite. Of course, you know, it goes on and on and on, back and forth. Wardlow gets involved, and MJF and Jericho take over towards near the end of the match. It was good back and forth for the most part. Jericho finally sits into a lineman tamer. Later, Jericho was using the bat and MJF hits the heat seeker, but still no one can put Matt away. Jericho with a misstep and hits Wardlow with the Judas Effect elbow. A super kick party by the Young Bucks. A Meltzer driver to Jericho. Young Bucks retain the AEW World Tag Team Championships. So now it's going to be time to divide and conquer the Inner Circle. Now later, Jericho and MJF have a segment in the back, and they're going to have a Inner Circle War Council meeting, which I have no idea what that is, but whatever. Next is the Casino Tag Team Battle Royal. The rules are 2 tag teams start every 90 seconds. Another one comes in. The team is only eliminated when both team members go over the top and both feet hit the floor. Now, the winner gets a shot at the AEW Tag Team Championships somewhere down the line. Now, we're not going to go through it all because it would take way too long. I'm just going to go down to the last couple here. See, Pac eliminates Kazarian. Phoenix eliminates John Silver. Jungle Boy eliminates Pac. Phoenix eliminates Jungle Boy, and Phoenix wins the Battle Royal. So for him and Pac, it's gonna be him and Pac versus the Young Bucks somewhere down the line. Probably a double or nothing. That's my guess. That's where I stand on that. Then it was the AEW Women's Championship match. It was Ryo Mizunami, who won the Eliminator Tournament, versus Hikaru Shida, who's the current champ. Now, Shida has never beaten Ryo anywhere in the times that they've met. They've gone to 3 time limit draws, I believe, in Japan when they wrestled over there. So this has an extra stipulation on it that Shida needs to win this match in order to prove herself as the best woman. Early on, Ryo chops the crap out of Shida. Ryo just dominated Shida for the first, 5-10 minutes of the match. It was they actually got quite a bit of time. Shida turns it around with a crunchy on the entranceway. Fun match with a lot of Japanese style wrestling. It was pretty good. I'd have to say that the strong style does suit the women pretty good, but you never know. In the end of the match, though, it took 3 Tamashis and a spinning knee strike to put away Rio. So Shida finally wins a match against Rio over a 10-year period. And she also retains the AEW Women's Championship. Right after that, though, Nyla Rose comes out and attacks both of them. Let's see. Ito and Britt come out and start attacking as well. But then Thunder Rosa comes out and saves the day and chases everybody off. So now it's going to turn into a 6-woman tag on Dynamite this coming Wednesday. That's my assumption. Then we get Miro and Kip versus Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy. Before anyone even gets to the ring, in the backstage area, Chuck and Orange were talking to Marvez, and then Kip and Miro attack them. Chuck Taylor goes through a door window, and they beat up on Cassidy some more. They drag Chuck all the way to the ring. The match, Chuck says, just start the match. He doesn't care. And Miro just destroys him right after that. I mean, it was just crazy. Finally, Orange makes his way out to the ring. And then he pretends that he's really beat up, and Miro goes to go after him. Orange pops up and gives him a big old Superman punch on the outside. That's where things really turned around. Chuck hits a beach break stomp combo and then a pile driver, but can't put Kip away. Miro locks in the game over, and Miro and Kip win. Chuck taps out. Then we talked about the interview. Then we had the big money match between Matt Hardy and Hangman Adam Page, where the winner will receive the loser's first quarter earnings on everything. 100% of all of their earnings. That's online, merch sales, toys, their paychecks, basically. That's everything. Hangman tries to end it early with a buckshot lariat, but Matt rolls to the outside. Very smart. Even outside, Hangman starts beating him up, and then a miscue, and he hits the ring post with his hand, which quite clearly he's injured after that, but that's kayfabe for you. Matt works on that the rest of the match. And then later, that Hangman goes to hit the Deadeye, but Matt's cronies come out, Private Party, or no, it was. To distract the ref and Page. Hardy counters the buckshot lariat into a side effect. Then there was a twist of fate. Hangman kicks out at 2. Dark Order comes down to run off Private Party. Page hits the buckshot lariat and wins the match. So Page gets all of Matt Hardy's first quarter earnings, which is a lot. Let's just say it's Matt Hardy. Then it was the 6-man Face of the Revolution ladder match. This was a very interesting match. I quite enjoyed this one. It was Lance Archer versus Cody versus Scorpio Sky versus Penta El Zero Miro, which he's going by now, and Max Caster, and versus TBA. And the TBA happens to be Ethan Page, which is a good pickup for AEW. I think it's a great pickup. I mean, he left TNA, I believe, a month prior. His contract just expired, and he decided not to resign. So, I mean, but when Max Caster comes out to the ring, he takes shots at the hashtag cancel culture, which I think is hilarious, and Governor Cuomo of New York, because of what he did during the pandemic. And that was even funnier. And everybody in Florida even knew about it. That's hilarious. I like Max. He's good on the mic, and he can wrestle. Early on, everybody's down. First attempt up the ladder was Page, but Page and Cody, but Archer puts them both off the ladder. Caster uses a boombox to take out everyone, but that leaves Penta in the ring by himself. Lots of mayhem with the ladders. There was lots of that. Penta hits a destroyer on a bridged ladder on Cody, and Cody is taken to the back because it looks like he re-injured his shoulder. Cody comes back out later, real late in the match, and takes out Ethan Page. In the end, Scorpio Sky and Cody on top of the ladder. Scorpio has beats on Cody's injured shoulder and knocks him off the ladder. And so Scorpio retrieves the brass ring that was hanging there. Brass ring. That's another shot at WWE. So he will get a shot. Let's see. He will get a shot at Darby's title. Darby's TNT title. Dynamite this coming Wednesday. That's if Darby even makes it. Now you got to remember, Darby's in a match later, and it's a street fight. Then it's the big reveal. Who is signing with AEW? Now, earlier tonight, Paul White had said that it was someone who can outwork everyone. So that under that assumption alone, I assumed it was Kurt Angle. I was wrong. Some people actually got this right, though. The big reveal was that it was Christian Cage. Yes, Christian, who worked for WWE back at the Royal Rumble. They said they had nothing for him, so he left. He didn't sign a contract. It was a handshake deal, I guess. So now he's signed with AEW, and I'm glad. At least he's got something to prove, because I'm sure he's got one last run in him. And not only that, he can mentor all the younger kids now, because he's very good at that. He just signs the contract, places it in the middle of the ring, and walks away. Then we get to the street fight with Sting and Darby Allin versus Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. This starts out with Cage and Starks driving, and it looks like Tony's Lambo, to the spot where they're going to have the match, which is an abandoned warehouse, apparently. And then Sting and Darby take their time showing up, which making them wait. And there was a bunch of hoodlums in Sting masks, and they wait for Darby and Sting to come in, and they all walk to the ring. They all get surrounded by the hoodlums. They all get in a ring. Chaos ensues. Ricky and Brian pretty much are in control at this point. Sting just eventually beats the crap out of Starks along the side of the building. Hobbs and Hook get involved. They're there, apparently. I don't know how they got there, but they did. And they just beat up everybody. Darby is on the third story, tosses a bat to Sting, and beats up just about everybody there. Then, with Brian Cage laid out on a platform on the second story, over top of a hole in the middle of the floor, I guess it's a walkway that goes in a rectangle, and there was a board placed over the top, and Cage was on it. Darby jumped from the third story onto Cage, basically a coffin drop. They fell through that and landed on the first floor. Obviously, everybody thinks that they're both dead. Welcome to wrestling. Sting drops Starks with a scorpion death drop and pins Starks in the ring that was in there. That was so weird. Then we get to the main event. Oh, my nose keeps running, guys. It's the AEW World Title match in an exploding barbed wire death match. It's Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley. Starts out with both of them trying to push each other into the barbed wire. Now, if you haven't seen one of these matches, please look it up online. Look up Terry Funk's exploding death matches. You'll find them. Trust me. They're nothing. Those matches are amazing. This one kind of petered out. It didn't fill that requirement, at least in my opinion. Starts out with both of them trying to push each other into the barbed wire to set off some of the explosions. Moxley grabs a barbed wire bat and uses it against Omega, then uses a kendo stick. Moxley grabs the barbed wire bat, uses it against Omega again. Omega blinds Moxley and then throws him into the barbed wire rope, which explodes with a little bang. Moxley gets thrown into the barbed wire. In the corner of the ring, they had a barbed wire board in I think it was either 2 or 3 of the corners. And man, was it ugly when he hit it. Uh, Mox is busted open after Kenny gets a Kataro Crusher on him onto a trash can. The trash can must have bent in such a way that it cut Moxley right here. Kenny goes face first into the ropes, and a better, bigger boom this time, at least, which blinds him for a little bit. Kenny drove Mox into the barbed wire, but Kenny took the explosion to the eye because he just drove him with his shoulder, so his face was right there. Moxley paradigm shift Omega from the apron through a barbed wire board on the outside, which had an explosion, but it wasn't that great. And of course, the Good Brothers come out, and they take Moxley out, and then Kenny hits the assisted one-winged angel. Kenny retains the AEW World Title. Then all three of them continue to beat up on Moxley. They handcuff Moxley, and then Kingston comes out to try to help Moxley after they leave before the timer hits 0, because it was about 26 seconds or so, because there was no stopping the timer, which means the explosions would have gone off. Now, he just covered up Moxley because he couldn't drag him out of the ring. Timer hit 0. And when the timer hit 0, there was virtually no explosions. There was 2 explosions on the outside and a few Peters on the inside. And then just sparklers in the corner. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was a malfunction. And they were all supposed to explode at once because the ring, I think, was supposed to collapse. And Eddie and Moxley sold it anyway, like they were both dead. I don't know. But it was definitely a misfire. And they didn't even try to cover it. They had no plan B. Which soured me on the match. If they had actually had a cover for it, then it would have made a lot more sense. So I was very disappointed in the end of that match. And so was a lot of other people. Well, that's all the time I have for you today. Join me next time. And remember, always be elite.